Hey friends, welcome to AI with Supreet. Back with another video. Here we are going to do three things in this video. One, I have very recently bought a Mac Mini and I am trying to shift from Visual Studio to Visual Studio Code. It's new for me as well. I've used it a little bit, not a lot. So I'm trying to have some more practice on using Visual Studio Code. The second thing that I want to try today is use the Visual Studio Code Copilots with the agents mode that is very recently launched. And the third thing that we want to very quickly check is something called vibe coding. What is vibe coding? Yeah, it's a new fundamental way of how we code is shifting. So the new thing is vibe coding, and we will see what that is as we go ahead. First thing first, let's head over to code.visualstudio.com/insiders and install the insiders version of Visual Studio Code. This is where the agentic framework of Copilot is available, wherein uh, apart from the Copilot chat and edits, you also have Copilot agent mode, which basically runs all of your code, creates the code, installs it, does everything for you. We will see how that works shortly after. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm heading over to code.visualstudio.com and installing the Mac version of Visual Studio Code because I'm using Mac today. And as you can see, I have installed it here. This green icon is the one with Insiders Edition. The blue one is our regular Visual Studio Code. All right, so I'm in here. The very first thing that I want to do here now is that because we want to use it for C sharp development. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to go ahead very quickly install a pre-release version of C sharp dev kit. Should not take longer, but let's see. So we will wait for it to get installed. Looks like that got installed pretty fast. That is because I had already previously installed it and perhaps it already had the libraries available. So that is there. Can I go ahead? Let's do a control shift tilt terminal to check out if I have .NET version installed as well. I had this installed earlier, but yeah, I think I have it. If you don't have it, just go ahead and install C sharp dev kit. Follow the instructions. It will give you a installation wizard. Follow that installation wizard, and you will be able to install not only C sharp dev kit, but along with that, it will also give you the steps to install .NET as well. Nothing fancy. All right. So now we will go ahead and we will open a folder called code, and I'm going to open that, and in there we already have two folders. So in fact, let's go ahead and open a different folder, not this one. So code file, open folder. Inside of code, I want to create a new folder called, we will create one more called to do app, to do app, and create that to do app, open. So we have a blank slate to work with. All right, shall we get started? So now let's go ahead and explore Visual Studio Code's Copilot and Copilot chat a little. So if you click Copilot from here, you see this Copilot icon. You can open Copilot chat. Copilot chat is here. But if you switch over to this Copilot Edits edition here. This is where Copilot Edit is available. Let me expand that a little so you can see better. This is the edits. Now, what is Copilot Edits? Copilot Edits is the multi-file editing with the help of AI. It is very similar to what we have called Composer in Cursor. I have used that a lot. I have not used Copilot Edits so far. This is the first time I'm going to be using it with you guys. So let's see how it goes. But apart from the edits, there are a few other things as well. So let's first explore Copilot in Visual Studio Code very quickly. First, we have is Copilot Chat. So I can select a block of the code and chat with it to ask what that code does. I can ask any regular questions to GitHub Copilot chat here, and it is well aware of my code in my workspace, so it is contextually aware. But if I want, I can go ahead and select these at the rates here, which basically allows me to, there are various commands that I can use with the copilots here. I can attach files and give it certain more context, and there's a speech mode as well. Finally, what I can also do is I can select between different models available. I like to code with Sonnet, so we will be using Sonnet today as well. Heading over to the edits. Edits, as I said, is the multi-file editing in GitHub Copilot, like what we have called Composer and Cursor. But today, what we want to really explore is agent mode. What is agent mode? Agent mode is where GitHub Copilot's agent, coding agent, will do all the coding for us. We don't have to do anything, and this is where the vibe coding comes into picture. So what is vibe coding is basically where you are coding with the AI and you fully give into the AI vibe. You even forget that it is writing the code. You just give it some instructions, it generates the code, and just go along with the vibe. If you want to make any suggestions, just speak to the AI, let it make the changes, run it again, see how it goes. Basically, you go along with the vibe. That is what is called vibe coding, and that's a new paradigm. It's a new thing, and we are going to test it out today. So what I've done is I have installed this Visual Studio Insider Edition. I've got .NET with me. Very quickly, let's go ahead and open the terminal to check. I have .NET installed with me. I can do that with .NET dash dash version, and I've got version 9 installed. Very good. The other thing that I have done is I have enabled this speech extension in Visual Studio Copilot Chat. Uh, it's very easy. Click on it for the first time. It will give you the directions to install that. Will take some time, and you should be ready to get started with it. All right. So what we are going to do now is we are going to maybe create a to-do application, API only, and we will see that there is Swagger so that we can test it, and we will try to do it hands free vibe coding. All right, so let's get started with that. I'm going to go ahead, Visual Studio Copilot in edit mode and enable agent mode. I have used selected Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and I'm going to go ahead and start giving it some instructions. Help create a new .NET Core Web API backend application, only backend, no front end needed. Install Swagger. This application will have a to-do controller with APIs, API endpoints for CRUD operations of to-do. Not a very good prompt, but let's see what it does with that. So it is thinking and it is generating some code, and it's basically creating a new web API project. And as you can see, it is giving me a command, but I do not need to copy this command and head over to the terminal to run it. What I can do is I can very simply click on continue here, and it will open a new command here, and it will run that. It says that it has successfully run the command. It is thinking again. So some errors, but yeah, we will go ahead with the vibe. We'll see what it does. It's created a .NET Core Web API project. It has created a to-do file. Uh, Perhaps we can see it here as well. Yeah, so it has created models. To-do.cs, ID, title, description is completed, date and time. It has also created a controllers folder with to-do, controller base, to-do controllers. Very nice. Get by ID, create, update, delete. That's all. All looks good. Then it says that notice that program.cs needs to be updated to use proper Swagger configurations. So it has updated CS to map open API, use Swagger, summaries. It has deleted some existing code from there, and it has says that we will be using authorization. Controllers are mapped, Swagger is used. Well, looks everything looks to be correct. Now it's saying run the application, so I'm going to go ahead and run it. The build failed, fix the errors. So what is the error? SDK cannot be deleted, but I will not do it. What it's saying is, I see that we need to add a Swagger NuGet package first. Let me install that. So, okay. It is running a command to install Swagger. What was the command? The command was to add package Shazbakal ASP.NET Core. Fantastic. Now it is again running it. Okay, fine. Let's run it. And it says that it is running on 5146. So can I open this? 5146. Copy, head over to the Chrome, paste it, enter. No, it's not running right now. It still says running the command in terminal. So let's wait for a couple of seconds. If you run into a situation like this where a command is endlessly running and you are not seeing any outputs, feels like it is stuck, I think we should be able to pause it from here. There's a pause and there's a cancel request. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this request, and I'm going to say help run the project. I hope this works this time. Let's see. All right, so continue. Oh, I think, yeah, it looks like it has run. The application has started running, and I don't see it on 7143. I Do I see it on 5143? No. What is missing? I think what is missing is that we need to first accept these changes and then help run the project. I think accepting the file changes is required, which I was missing earlier, because unless I do that, perhaps the changes are not accepted automatically. So now it has done that. It has run the application as well. Let's go ahead and try and run it this time. No, not running, not running. 5146. No, 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 no. Where is it running? Let's go back and check what do we have here. It hosting failed to start. Done. Looks like the application failed to start. Look into the errors and help me run the app again. Something is wrong. Hosting failed to start. It's not able to bind to that address because 5146 is already used, right? Okay. So let's close that. Let's also close Visual Studio here. I don't want that to be causing any issues. And run it again. Let's see. Let's see what it does now. Yeah, it is able to figure out that 5146 is already in use. So what it's doing is another application is using the same port. Yes, let me help you fix by checking and stopping existing process. Okay. So it has run some command to stop any of the services which are running on 5146 port. Uh, let's kill that. Okay, fine. Kill 5146. Perhaps easier to just switch to use different ports. But you know what we are doing? We are vibe coding. We have to go ahead with the vibe. So let's see what it is doing and we will continue with it. Again, run. So running again, let's see what happens. I think whenever this runs the application, it fails to run the application whenever it's here. There is some glitch, and that is acceptable because agent mode in Copilot is still in preview. So we will have to give it that. But let's just stop it once and give it the same command. Run the application. Let's see if it is able to run the app this time now. We have already tried it a few times. .NET Run, building. I see that the application was started but immediately shut down. Let me start it again. So it is now running with some detailed logs to see why it is being appears to be starting correctly, but there seems to be a control C signal in the output which suggests the application might have been interrupted. Let me run again. This time we will let continue running. Okay, looks like it has run. Let me check the output. Well, this agent is basically not only creating the application but is able to run it. It's also able to have a control over the terminal, run the commands in terminal. Automatically, it does not run the command on terminal but gives me this very sleek way to just click on continue and runs the command in the terminal, but it is definitely able to see the output in terminal and suggest further commands based on that. So, support issue has been addressed. Let's just run it again. It's running again. Let's see what happens now. Looks like it is there 5146, and yes, we are there. Fantastic. Let's go ahead, try it out, execute, and no response. Obviously, empty response. We do not have any to do items. So I'm going to go ahead and create one called first to do item. I'm going to copy this. Or no. That's all right. Is complete. It is false and execute, and I think it will create the ID on its own, and it worked. So let's go ahead and create a new one called second, execute, and fair enough, it's able to create a second to do item as well. Go ahead, get list of to dos, and you get both of them as well. That is fantastic. Now, I think it is using in memory model. So if I stop the application and run it again, there is a good chance that it will not remember those to do items. Let's give it a try. Stop the application. So yeah, okay. So pkl.net run. Okay, fine. Stop the application. Run the application again. While it is easy for me to just do .NET run, I want the I want to use the agent mode in to its fullest. So I don't want to type. Let's see. All right, it is running the application again. Let's go ahead. Since we killed it and since we started again, I believe we would not have the item saved. Yes, we don't have it. It's all blank, right? So let's go ahead and add some database capabilities to it. Let's add the SQLite database to the application so the to do tasks are persistent across sessions. Let's see what it does. Well, this is definitely a new era of coding, all hands free. All I'm doing is just clicking on this continue button and the AI is coding everything on its own. Never thought that this time is coming, but yeah, we are here already. So I'm enjoying the vibes of vibe coding. I don't know about you. Let me know what do you think in comments. But Meanwhile, what it is doing is it is adding SQLite packages to the application. Perhaps it will also make some changes to the existing code. Now, entity framework packages have been installed. Create a data folder to add the database context. Okay, now it's creating a data folder, but it is empty right now. Perhaps it will add some files in there. Yeah, see, it is adding that DB context there. It has added. I'm not accepting it from here. I can accept this changes in the file from this context menu that you get here. I can accept, discard, see the difference, go through the changes, multiple changes, see the diff perhaps in, or open the Copilot edits. Yeah, but I don't want to go through that right now. I will perhaps accept it at the end when it is done changing everything right from here. So I can do an accept or discard on individual file by going to that file and using this context menu, or I can simply click on this accept here, wherein it will accept the changes on all the files. I would love to see what it has changed in app settings.json. It has added a default data connection. It has added a db context file, db set, looks good. And in program.cs, it has added a default connection. Okay, it's getting the connection string. All right, it's good. So I'm going to accept, run command again. So it is running database migrations to set up SQLite database. Fine. Need to install entity framework core CLI tool first. Okay, I don't have it. Go ahead and install. Right, it has invoked. It has installed the .NET Entity Framework CLI tools. What it is gonna do next? I see that the EF core tools were installed. Let's add them to the current path. Nice. These are all the little small things because of which I never used Visual Studio Code in the past, because if .NET is not available, it's not added properly in the path file, then I don't know if Visual Studio Code works out of the box like Visual Studio used to do, or does. But yeah, but with this, all those issues are gone. It is able to read in the terminal, figure out what is wrong, suggest suggestions automatically based on the terminal output, and give us further command to run. So it says now migration was successfully created. Run the migration to create the database, which it did. No problems. Looks like all done. I can see database setup was successful. Now it wants to run the application again. We have run the application. Let's wait for it to confirm that the application is running. Application has started with SQLite database, has been created in the project. Everything is good. Let's go ahead, refresh, and go to the get, try it out, execute. Fair enough. Blank response, empty response. Go ahead, create a new to do item, try it out, and we'll say this is my. The only typing I'm doing is, when I'm adding these dummy records in my to do application. So execute that. 201, 200. Okay, yeah, it did that. Okay, fine. Looks like it did that. Here is, I'll just go ahead and create a few more. Second to do item, execute. Let's just do a few more with random values. I'm not changing the date element. Yeah, so all done. Let's go ahead and get it. And you see all three items are there. Now let's go ahead and stop the application. Stop the application. Okay, it killed that. If I go and refresh now, you should see it's not working. Let's go back and help run the application again. Continue to run that command, and this is where it gets stuck. It definitely gets stuck here, but let's see if it works this time. I have seen that at this stage it definitely gets stuck a couple of times, but no, looks like it's working this time. So let's go ahead. Okay, yes, we are back. Let's go to the to do. Let's give it a try. Execute. Blank, nothing in there. Post. Where is right now? First item. Execute. Got it. Second item, execute, got it. Refresh, we have it here. Refresh, get to do item, try it out, execute, and yes, we have it here. That's fantastic. So, as you saw, we were able to create a very simple API to do application hands free with vibe coding with Visual Studio Code using the agent mode in Visual Studio Code Copilot agent mode, and it works like a charm. I'm pretty sure it will be able to handle a little more complex scenarios than this. And what it does not have, two things that it does not have, which are missing, perhaps they will add it in the future, is one, to be able to refer external links. For example, if I want to work with semantic kernel or Mavi, and there is a specific documentation online on Microsoft Learn website, and I wanted to follow that, Cursor has the ability to post links, and then it uses reads through that web page and uses the latest stuff from there. It does not seem to have that feature yet. That is number one. Second is, Cursor also has checkpoints, which allows me to, what checkpoints are basically when I'm using AI to code. Sometimes the AI could make mistakes, and what checkpoints does is basically it allows me to go back to the previous checkpoint, so that it basically I can undo all the changes that AI has done in the last command, and I can go to the previous checkpoint, which was safe, where the application was working fine, and I can then start again from there. But of course, I can see that here is an undo option there. There's a workaround. So I can do an undo, but at the same time, what I can do is I can add all of this to my GitHub, and using commits, I can create manual checkpoints, and that problem should get definitely solved. So, not a real problem there, but I love GitHub Copilot with agent mode so far, and I'm going to perhaps create more applications with this in the future. Let me know how you like this video, and if there is anything specific that you want me to create in the next version of these videos, please let me know. Happy coding, happy vibe coding. Bye bye.